Hey everyone, this is Mouse from True Prep and back to you with another video. Today we're going to go over a bow drill fire technique, a primitive fire technique, and how to do that. First thing you'll need is a hearth board. A lot of people use cedar, teak, basswood, things like that. A lot of the materials that they say to use, I'm from Georgia, so it's really hard to find some of the materials. I just use cedar. Mullen's even pretty difficult to find around here because it takes so long to grow and people tend to bush hog their fields and stuff. So the one we're going to use today is going to be cedar on cedar because that's pretty easy to find around here. So what you'll do is you'll make you a notch inside of your hearth board, and then you'll just cut a V into it about 1/8 of an inch into the hole that you can see here. And we'll do a better video on show a little bit more closely how to actually do all this, how to process it from the wildwoods. This is just the technique of how to do it today. So what you'll do is you'll have like a leaf, or I have a piece of cardboard that you just put under it to catch your coal when your coal falls. So you'll lay that on the ground first, then you'll put your hearth board down. Moisture is really important when it comes to a bow drill fire, so you want to keep all your stuff off the ground as much as possible. So that's another reason for that. So then you'll put your hearth board down on top of that so that the coal will actually fall onto that. And then your spindle, the part that you mate to your hearth board, you want as much friction as possible. The part that goes in your handhold, you want as little as possible. So I sharpen mine a lot at the top so that when I put my handhold there, it's not getting a lot of friction. And I have a handhold that I just carry around with me inside my knife case. Which you can use a rock or anything like that. You've seen videos, I'm sure, of people using seashells and rocks and all kinds of things like that. You can even use wood for one. Just cut another notch and make sure there's less friction on your handhold than there is your hearth board. Your bow, this is just 550 quarter round, my bow. Your bow does not have to be crooked. A lot of people think it has to actually have the shape of a bow. That's not true. It can be straight like this. Just put some string, 550 cord, vine, anything you can find out in the wild or whatever. The way that I put my spindle inside my bow is I'll put the part that's going to be up on the cord, and then I'll just twist it back toward myself, like so. Okay. When I put my spindle inside my hearth board, I step on the hearth board with my right foot, and then I just place my knee down so that I can take this left hand and just hold it steady. And when you first start this, you're not trying to give it everything you got. You got to let it kind of heat up a little bit until you see smoke. And even when you see smoke, that's not when you want to stop. You want to make sure that you have a coal. When you can stop doing this and the dust that's falling out is still smoking, that's how you know you have a coal. And it doesn't take very long at all. Like, I've probably almost got one now. I may have one there. Can't tell if I do or not. Nope, I don't. Okay, we'll try that again. I stopped a little too early. Okay, so I'll just take my bow, my spindle back in, place my handhold down, and you start to, when you've done this a little bit, you can kind of tell whether you're putting enough friction on it or not. And you can also tell by the color of your dust. If your dust is a really light brown, you're not really pressing down hard enough. Pretty sure that's one. Maybe we'll have one this time. Yeah, there we go. And when you can see it smoking, I'm not sure if you can see this good or not on the camera, but when your coal is smoking without you twisting, that's how you know you have a good coal. And the way you turn this into a fire, you'll take your tinder bundle. This is just some pine needles that have been processed a little bit. you just transfer your coal over to your pine needles or your tinder bundle, and you'll encase it in there. And you don't really want to blow on this thing at first, because your breath has moisture in it. You can move it around like this, and this keeps the wind will actually get to it like this, but it actually keeps you from blowing moisture into it, first of all. And second of all, what it does is that keeps you from actually blowing your coal all the way through your tinder bundle. See, now that I have a lot of smoke coming out of this, I can probably go ahead and blow this and it'll turn into a fire now. Like so. And then I'll just place it inside a little bit better tinder bundle, so on and so forth. That's how easy it is to do a bow drill. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it down, you can do it fairly quickly. Like I say, moisture is the biggest thing with this, because if this is at all wet, you're going to be working a lot harder than you really should have to if any of this part is wet. So you want to keep these as dry as possible. Now that I got a fire going, I would set these next to that fire and let them dry back out, because I just placed them on a moist, wet ground. But once again, I'm Mouse from True Prep. Thanks for watching. We'll be back to you as soon as we can with another video.